Oh my goodness. I guess my friend just asked me, Juliana Barbati just asked me if it's Mercury retrograde happening right now because I've been trying to go live for this podcast relaunch party for the past 10 minutes on StreamYard. I was going live and then I look on Facebook and it's not showing anyone. It's for only me. Like, what? How does that even happen? Oh my gosh. So hopefully I'm live. Please say hello if you're here. I'm ready to start this party, and now I'm ready for a drink. Gosh, I should have brought the champagne like I said I was going to bring. Let me make sure that I am in here live. Help me by saying hello if you happen to pop in here. It looks like I'm alive, and I'm hoping that I'm not just talking to myself. Can I share this post? Let me go ahead and see how I can share this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to cross post pages. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that right now. Okay. Let's do this. Give me a second. Go grab your drink. Go grab whatever you want. You're going to want to sit tight and hang out for a little while because we are going to do some giveaways, some fun stuff, some tangible giveaways, some products, some free master classes, as well as dinner with me. So let's see if I can. It's already scheduled, baby. Come on, come on. All right. Oh well. Whoever hops on, hops on. Hopefully, we get some people up in this bad boy, and we can. Let's see here. Okay, Rachel. Yay. Okay, people can see me. Thank goodness. Thank you, Rachel, for letting me know. I don't know if I could share it anywhere else, but all right. Wow. Time to ground. I had everything set up for about an hour, just ready to go live. And all of a sudden, last minute, I was having issues with StreamYard. Then I come over to Facebook. It looked like I was going live. I don't even know. Gosh, I swear. I am a techie person, but for some reason, it just didn't work out for me. But we're going to make the best out of it. And if you had plans to tune in on YouTube or Instagram, I apologize. I will share this over there. And if you're over there waiting for me, I'm sorry, I won't be there. But let's get this party started. I'm so excited about this because this has been some time in the making. Like I was saying before, I realized that I was talking to no one. This podcast relaunch has been 6 months in the making, but really the last season was July. It ended in about last summer of 2024, and I had the intention of coming back for the fall, like I always do. I take the summer off for a break so I can hang out with the kids, be at home with the kids, and have fun. And as some of you may know, that didn't happen because when I got back from our annual vacation in Mexico, my father was sick. We thought he had a stroke. Unfortunately, he did not have a stroke. It was something much worse. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this because if I have a platform to share more about this disease, I want to. I think that increasing awareness around this is important. It's not in my notes, but I think it's important to honor him and all the people that have suffered this horrible disease and have died from it. But when I landed in Mexico, I got a phone call from my ex stepmom saying that my dad had a stroke. He was in the hospital. We already knew that he had heart issues, and he's getting older, right? And when I get back, he has the stroke symptoms. He seems like he's going to recover. He stays in the rehab center for a while. I think it was about a week or two before he gets sent home. And all of a sudden, we realized that his health was just declining rapidly after what seemed like forever, so maybe about 2 or 3 months. He did not get any better. In fact, he was put into a coma because they said that he was having seizures. To make a very long story as short as possible, he was diagnosed with Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which is a prion disease. It is a rare fatal disease with no cure. There's not much research or studies or science behind why this happens. But what they do know is that it mimics Alzheimer's, dementia, sometimes even a stroke. A lot of people misdiagnose it, and I think this is why there's not very much research behind it, or any kind of science behind it, or no one really understands why this happens. But what they do know is that there is a mutated protein in the brain that starts to mutate all the other um, protein cells, and their brain starts to deteriorate, and they lose motor function, they can't speak. There's just so many other things. And so unfortunately, he lost his battle April 21st of 2025. And when I came back, my goal was that like I have my business designed so it's flexible for moments like this. So I can spend time with my father. So I spent as much time with him as possible. I mean, I was there pretty much almost every day with him and the caregivers. While he, was in a coma, I sat next to him and they would say, stop bothering him, because I would hold his hand and I'd be like, I love you, I love you, I love you. Just like the elf. Remember Buddy the elf in the movie Elf, or Will Ferrell? And so I just spent those moments with him. And one of the things that I had to decide was not to bring back the podcast. I had to decide, like, I'm going to work behind the scenes of my business. I'm going to do, what is the most urgent things, or, I was going to like really simplify and not overcomplicate my business anymore, and not do more things, and just prioritize him and spending his last days with him. And so that's what I did. And I'm ready to be back to serve you, that woman entrepreneur who's wanting to grow her business with ease and be able to set things up in her life and business, so that if something does happen like this in, my situation in her life, that she's able to not have any setbacks in business, that she's able to keep going and have systems and structures and routine and cadence, so that she's still bringing in income while she's spending time with her loved one, or while she's taking care of business, her business life, her life, whatever, I mean, I was going to say taking care of business, but taking care of her life, and doing what matters most to her and spending time with her family. So I'm back with that. And I'm excited because as not only am I going to be on here, and I'm hoping that my podcast producer is going to be able to join us. We have, oh, look, this distribution. We had a little bit of a setback, like I mentioned, so I'm hoping that I can bring her on live. We'll see what happens with that. She might be able to request. But let's just go ahead and dive in. I'm going to go ahead and just share a little bit more about what we're going to be doing today. So, this morning I posted, oh, thank you. She said I look gorgeous. I was actually thinking about you, Rachel, this morning, because I was doing my own makeup. I was like, I should have messaged Rachel ahead of time and be like, hey, can you come and do my makeup before? But thank you. I appreciate that. You say I look beautiful. Sorry, go back to my notes. So this morning, I woke up to one excitement about this podcast relaunch, because again, I'm so excited to be able to come serve you and give you value, share my expertise, help you, with the shortcuts and just all the information you may need to grow and scale your business. And with that excitement, I also woke up to a hater commenting on one of my YouTube shorts. You can go over there and see it later if you want to. And of course, I was a little sassy back, but I'll probably delete it later. No, I won't. Anyway, so what that message said, it was a video of me yesterday joking around, because if you know me, I like to joke around and be funny and goofy. It was a video of me sharing that we had our baby via surrogate the day before, and it was such a beautiful alignment with the fact that the baby was born and that the relaunch of the podcast is being reborn. And then I show the baby, which is actually a pug baby. And the person made this comment of, your baby is more important than the podcast launch. That baby's probably going to end up in a daycare all day long. And so obviously that person did not watch the entire video, because they would have seen it was a pug. And if she did see the video and see that it was a pug and was shaming me for putting my pug in a daycare, I'd be like, that means I have the funds to be able to do that, so whatever, bye. But also, that person without them even knowing me, and that's fine, like they hate on me, right? Without even knowing like my platform and my purpose for my business, it was like, oh my gosh, that's the complete opposite of what I stand for. They didn't know that I actually was running, growing, scaling my business while my son was at home with me. And then it wasn't until like he was a couple years old that he was going into Mother's Day Out and daycare and stuff like that. And so I thought it was a very aligned comment of like, wow, this is my sign to speak more about why I do what I do, and the content behind the podcast, and everything that I stand for in my business. because I don't think that I talk about it enough. It's not about just about helping you grow your business so that you can make more money and you can make an impact. There is actually a root cause of what started all of this, and it comes from my story. And it's going to be tied into my upcoming book, which I'll share more as the months and it comes to formation and it's fully developed. But when she made that comment, I was like, or he, I'm assuming it's a she because of the name, but whatever. When they made that comment, I was like, wow, that's the complete opposite of what I stand for. And if they only knew the context of my business, they would be saying these things. And of course, I know that they're projecting onto me, and that that's their own experience of maybe that's how they grew up. Maybe their parent was running a business and they were in daycare all day. And the reason why I do this work that I do is because when I was little, I remember my dad always working. And I am so grateful for that. He was a hard worker. He showed me what it's like to really be passionate about what you do and make money from it and give it your all. He also, towards, when he really established himself, he also showed me how to, work hard and then play hard and enjoy the things that you're working so hard for. But I remember that he was always working and I was at his desk, playing with my toys. And there were times where I wanted his attention. And, of course, he was a great father, gave me his attention and everything, right? But what I remember, or what the seed that was planted there is that he was so focused on this that part of me kind of felt neglected or I wanted more attention, and that's fine. But it gave me what it put into my filter was seeing all the different ways that we as parents get so stressed out about providing for our kids. So stressed out, and when I say providing, I mean like either growing a business and making sure that that business generates enough revenue, or having a career where you're making sure that you're doing what it takes to make sure that you get that paycheck, you don't get fired, you're meeting all of your milestones or whatever that your boss, your employer requires of you. And what I started to like tell myself, or what really came together, was like seeing the correlation of when we get so stressed and the effects that it has on our prefrontal cortex, the front part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex. And that stress, excuse me, I've been sick, and so I can't talk too much, and this is like the most I've talked, and I know I'm me coughing. But that stress, what it does, it really does mess with our ability to reason, make savvy decisions. We get some confusion. There's just a lot of different things that stress, especially financial stress, that reduces the gray matter on our prefrontal cortex. There's a lot of things that it bogs us down, right? We have this mental clutter, and so then we start to make decisions that affect our children, our personal lives. And so what I noticed with that was that, so he did all these things. He was working really hard, and I felt this connection, but then of course I felt love, I know that he was providing for me. But what I came to conclude is that when we're so stressed out as adults, as parents, it takes away from the mindfulness and the presence that we can have for our children so that we can raise good kids. Today, I was on social media and I saw this really sad article about this little boy who committed suicide because he was bullied. And that just reminded me of why I do what I do, so that parents can be efficient in the way that they're making money, and primarily women growing businesses. So they can be efficient in the way they're doing it. They can be less stressed, so they can actually feel good, peace, and calm while they're growing their businesses, so that at the end of the day, out at the end of their workday, when the kids are home, the family's there, they can be present, they can be mindful, they can be stress-free, they can nurture and model for their kids nervous system regulation, emotional regulation, be there for their kids. And that creates a better child, that raises a better child, that goes out to be a better adult, that's more empathetic, that gives to the world, that is kind, that, that is not going to bully other kids, right? And so that was like the whole, it's right there in my head. And I hope it makes sense to you because it makes sense to me, is that the impact that I can make through my content, through the podcast, through my coaching, through even my products right here is creating efficiency. It's helping women simplify, reduce stress, regulate their emotions so that they can show up with power. They can show up with magnetism. They can be efficient. They can have everything they want without sacrificing, excuse me, their sanity, without sacrificing their peace, right? And so that's what this podcast is all about. It's strategy, it's emotional regulation. Oh my gosh, I'm about to stop this. It's emotional regulation. It's so much. Dang it, let me take some coffee. Or not coffee, water. Yesterday, I purposely didn't go to a networking event because this throat and then all of the coffee. Mm. So I know that was a long story, and I know that you're ready for some giveaways. So let's talk about some giveaways. All right, these giveaways are going to help you with exactly what I was sharing, to be more efficient in your business, to be able to make more money without spending a lot more time doing it, to get out of your head, to stop overthinking, to do the dang thing, to show up in your power and feel damn good about it. Something recently, before I dive into that, something recently that happened because of this whole thing with my father, watching him um, get sick and then pass away. Like, my dad was my world, like, he was my everything. And of course, you can imagine what that does for someone, even as a almost 44-year-old woman, it's still like hard on you. And so the grief brought me down so much. I was doing what I could and showing up for my clients, but there was still some lingering things um, underneath the surface. And it finally, like, the veil finally came off my eyes, away from my eyes, and was like, "Hey, Juliana, I'm gonna see how I can bring you on." And what happened was that I was like, "Oh my gosh, this grief, this energy that bogged me down was the devil attacking me because he knows the impact and the bigness, my big dream to be able to change the world, to create beautiful change in the way we parent, because the way we do our business." And he was attacking me. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, how did I not see that?" And so I say that because if you have experienced this greatness and then all of a sudden you come back and then you get scared, just know that's the devil attacking you, because he knows that you are meant for something great and a ripple effect through what you do in your business. However, your business is, you create a beautiful change that threatens him. And so these gifts that I'm giving away are going to help you snap out of that trance, and get back into your power. And that happens to everyone. I don't care at what level you are in your business, how much money you make. He attacks everyone, especially that woman who's out there doing the thing and doing big, courageous things. He's going to go for you. And when he does, you remember your power, your ripple effect that you're creating in this world. Okay, the beautiful impact that you're making. And when you have a visual like this, or whenever you show up to my masterclass that I'm going to be talking about right now, you're going to remember those tools. It's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I remember Vanessa told me about this. And this is the pattern interrupt. This is the tool. This is the resource she gave me so I can snap out of that, because I don't have time for that." And so one of the things that we're going to be giving away is, like, you already saw this, is um, one one workbook. But let me back up a little bit. I got so excited about saying, "Not today, devil." Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing for the giveaway. I asked that, actually, first in the chat, before I go through like the giveaways, let me know, have you listened to an episode of the Blind Businesswoman podcast? I just realized it's been 5 years since I launched that podcast. 5 years. Isn't that freaking awesome? So comment or drop up the little mic or an emoji, your favorite emoji, if you've already listened to at least one podcast. And then drop a thumbs up if you have subscribed already, because that really does help me. And then comment live if I don't know, or comment how many like episodes you think that you've listened to. And you can't say more than 123 because that's all there are, okay? All right, so let's dive into what you have to do to be able to win one of these gifts that I'm about to share. Um, okay, so for every review, so you go to Spotify or iTunes and give me a 5-star review, please. I think that you obviously had to listen to at least one episode because we want a legit and honest review. So review that, review the podcast, screenshot it, post it on your stories, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, and it has to be public, right? Or you post it on one of those places, public, tag me, you automatically win a spot in my masterclass, Practical Manifestation Masterclass. That is what it's about. I don't know if that's going to be the full name yet, but it's going to be the first week of February. That you don't have to like be in a drawing or anything like that. You just share and you're already in. That masterclass is going to be starting at $97. So you just gifted yourself a free $97 masterclass. So go do that right now. Screenshot it, tag me, and say tell your friends to go listen to that. Right now, not only are you going to be able to get free access to the masterclass I think it's February 2nd through the 4th, but you're also going to be entered into a drawing to win one of 3 spots for the friend of the pod. And let me see if I can drop in. Let me go ahead and see if I can drop in this link. The friend of a pod is a monthly subscription to the podcast. It's only $8 a month, but you get free for the whole year. And what I love about this, and you can read the description here. Am I gonna drop it in? Yeah. Okay, here we go. So you can see what that's all about. What I love about this is that the friend of the pod. So when you're a friend of the pod, we have some really cool, intimate, curated events in person and online. And one of those things is going to be a curated, intimate dinner with me and a few of the other friends of the pod. And so that's going to be here locally in Houston. It's probably going to be around September. So you want to win one of those spots. There's going to be some masterclass after the podcast event. There's just so many cool things that are going to be available, including your own group Telegram chat, which no one's going to have access to unless they're a friend of the pod. So that is $8 a month. And so I give it access for a whole year. So what is that? Like $80, $96 that you're saving. So not only are you going to be able to have a chance to win that, but you're also going to have automatically win access to the masterclass. So there's 3 spots for the friend of the pod. You know what to do. And then there is one person that's going to get this workbook. The 7 steps to creating a profitable business workbook. My clients swear by this because when they complete it, it gives them so many aha moments and breakthroughs on the little leaks that are happening in their business, ways to optimize their business. So again, it's performing a lot better with a lot less effort, so much more efficiency in their business, and a lot more money because they have the clarity of like, oh, this is what I need to do to grow my business. All these other things that are distracting me, they're just wasting my time, money, and focus. So go ahead, leave a podcast review, screenshot it, share it in your stories or post, make sure it's public so I can see it, and then tag me. You automatically get a spot in the Practical Manifestation class. All right, now let's see. Can I bring Juliana on live? Juliana, let's see. How can I bring you on live? I wonder if you can request. Juliana, can you request to come on live? That pepper stuff is nasty. It's embarrassing. Let me see. Can I bring her online? Really, really wish that the other system would have worked because then we wouldn't be like the same. Give me 1 second. That's fine. So go and do the things that you need to do so that you can be able to get free access to the master class while I try to figure this thing out. Copy here, there, interactivity, questions, featured links, distribution, monetization. The Oh man, we're not going to be able to bring her on. I apologize. I'm so excited, but we'll probably do it for another time because I have so many questions to ask her about what it was like to produce this podcast. Oh, hold on. Share the link to your live video with moderators. It's open to live producer for easy access. Okay, let me try this one. Let's see. See what happens here. Thank you for bearing with me for a second. Oh, yay! I'm glad that you love the workbook and that it's magical. All right, Juliana, see if you can come onto that link right there. Let me see if I can tag you. Let's see who else jumps on there. Like, hey. Yeah, I'm pretty bummed out that it was not working, and which is really weird that it wasn't working through StreamYard. But then again, I haven't been on StreamYard for a while. Um, for me to see like the settings here and there. They've had updates for a while. But all right, I'm gonna see if she can do that. I'm gonna wait for her. And then let's get back as we are waiting for her to hopefully hop on. Let's see what happens. Um, let's talk about some of the episodes. So, episode one already dropped at noon today, and it is all about revenue. And so, if you are new to my space, let me just kind of tell you, I already told you about like simplifying and making being efficient in your business. Like, but what does that mean? Like, what are all the things that I do? How does that really come together? Well, I want you to think of your brain like a computer. And whatever you program with, then that's what it's going to execute. That's the capacity that it has to create and run whatever it is, whether software or whatever systems it has, right? And so I bring in the energetics and the mindset with the strategy so that when you are executing, let's say you're bringing up like the analogy of a computer, you're bringing up a window. It's being it's able to come up a lot faster because it's not bogged down with extra junk that does not help you produce what you want it to produce. And so we talk about, I'm going to drop the first episode in here. We talk about, oh, look at this. How to attract clients. I'm going to drop it right here so you'll be able to hear it later. We talk about like how to attract clients, but then also like how to get out of your own head so that you can execute these strategies. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of times women will want to have a business coach that only focuses on business strategy, and they'll give her the strategy, but then she won't do it because she gets so much in her head. Now I can spot those patterns right away through not only your language but the way you're showing up to my spaces, and I use that information to help you get out of that trance, call out those patterns to empower you to switch them and remind you of what you said your goal was, and show you that some of these patterns that keep coming up, we can reprogram them, we can rewire them, so that strategy that I'm giving you, you're not afraid to execute, you're excited to show up for it, you're like, I have the clarity, I know what to do, I know how to show up, and then you create the business and the life of your dreams. So I dropped in the first episode, and then let's see here, are we gonna bring able to bring, I'm gonna wrap this baby up, and I'm going to see who has tagged me in the post because I want to give away these things right now. So as soon as you've tagged me in the post, screenshot that and drop it in the chat as well because I want to make sure that we're doing the giveaway here. Let's see if we just yet. There is a delay, so I might have to go back. I might have to go back. All right. So make sure that you're tagging, I'm sorry. So to win, leave a podcast review, screenshot it, share it to stories or posts, and then tag me. And then right now, so I can do the giveaway, make sure you leave that screenshot as a comment on the live stream, and then we can do some drawings. If you can't do that, because sometimes you can't leave photos, then just I'll go back and then do the drawing. And maybe at that time, we can do a little interview with Juliana. All right. Okay, check the comments. It doesn't say, it says content not available. Ah, all right. Well, my party's ruined because of Mercury retrograde. That's a bummer because that was like 15 minutes of my time with you. And I guess we're gonna be wrapping up. Sorry, babe. Okay, so let me see really quickly because I want to make sure that you guys have a chance to, there's a lot of comments here. Okay, no photos can be dropped in here. All right, sorry, my loves. All right, so I'll be coming back with, so you have until the end of the day. How about this? You have to the end of the day to submit your review, to tag me, and then I will automatically send you access so that I'll put you on a list, the VIP list, so that you can get access to the Practical Manifestation Masterclass, which will be live. Did I not even say that? It's going to be live. So that's going to be really freaking cool. So we'll be interacting. You'll be able to ask your questions. It's going to be a whole vibe. And then I will enter you into the drawing so that you can either win the workbook or you can win a spot in the Friends of the Pod membership so that for the whole year, it's going to be a really cool thing. Again, it's a curated intimate dinner with me. There's going to be pop-up master classes that the only people that get an invite are the people that are the friends of the pod. There is going to be a group Telegram chat. It's like you basically get mini coaching from me. So there's going to be mic drops are going to be going in there. There's just so much. I'm really excited about that. So make sure that you leave your review, screenshot it, tag me, and share it to your stories or posts or whatever, and make sure that it's public so I can be able to see it. So thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for being here. And I wish that it would have turned out the way I wanted it to turn out, but you know, you got to be flexible sometimes. All right, my loves, I will see you later. Thank you for joining me. Catch you soon. Bye bye.